Buenos dias, Rhea Bue here, and I'm back with a new vlog. And for today's vlog, I'll be doing an updated how I edit my Instagram photos, since a lot of you requested for this vlog, and it's kind of exciting for me because it's a different editing style compared to the previous one I did. So I'm not sure if you've seen that, but I'm gonna add a card somewhere here on top, so you can also check it out. But for today's editing style, it would be the one that I'm currently using on my Instagram feed now. So it's this one right here. So I'm gonna teach you how to achieve that whole look, and also I'm gonna share with you the app that I use to plan my content. And I think I've already shared it with you also before, but just, you know, just a recap, I'm gonna share it again today. So there, if you're interested, you know what to do. Keep on watching. Now, for those who are still wondering kung ano yung app na ginagamit ko, I'm using Lightroom app for so long, and it has been the only app that I've been using to edit most of my photos. Otherwise, kung gusto ko yung medyo may artsy or may mga effect, then I use Prequel app. But for filter or preset wise, I only use Lightroom. So that is the one and only app that I use. And I know it's also available for both Apple and Android users, and I'm not sure if it's totally free. I know it's also free, but you can check it out. And I will try my best to do a detailed vlog for you on this one, so you can follow me on the edits step by step. So we'll do it step by step, so make sure to follow. And make sure to also grab your phone and your photos, and make sure you've already downloaded Lightroom app. So now, as you can see, this is my current camera roll on Lightroom. I have most of my photos here, and most of this, I already applied my preset here, so I can easily copy and paste the preset or the edit to another photo. So that is what I do na. And sometimes I just do minimal edits or adjustments on the photo depending on the lighting, kung gaano ka dark or gaano ka light yung photo. So that is what I do, but basically I just use one preset. Now I'm gonna pick one photo. So let's edit this photo over here, and as you can see, this is the before photo, or this is how it looks before the edit or the preset, and this is how it looks like after, once we have the preset on top of it already. This preset that I'm currently using for my feed, I like how minimal the edits are for this, and it also gives an extra warmth to my photos. So yun yung gusto ko. I don't like the cooler tones or cooler photos, but you can also do that if you want, kung yun yung type nyo. But for me personally, I like yung mga warmer photos. That's why I'm very into the whole beige, brown tones. That is what I'm really into lately. Now, again, let's go back to this photo, and I'm gonna show you the light adjustments to this first. This is my current adjustments for this photo, and as you can see, for exposure, I just left it at negative 0.17, and if I'm gonna pull this down some more, you can notice that the photo becomes dark, and if I'm gonna pull this one up, obviously it will make the photo bright. Now for the contrast for this photo, this one is on positive or plus 32. Positive. So ayun, this is on plus 32, meaning the more you increase the contrast, the darker yung, or the more contrast it is, and the more you pull this one down or to the negative part, then it gives you less contrast on the photo. Now for the highlights, it's on 0 because feeling ko lang na I don't wanna take off much highlights because it will make the image or the photo flat. Now let's go to shadows. For shadows, I just made this on plus 25. The more you increase the shadows, the more you brighten the shadows sa photo. Meaning, if I have shadows here sa hair or sa face, on the original photo, if you increase the shadows for that, then the shadows will somehow brighten up. and magla-lighten. So, less shadows na yung photos nyo. If I'm gonna pull this one down, nagda-dark lalo yung shadows part ng photo. For whites, it's also 0 for me. So, I did not do any adjustments for this because I don't feel like it's necessary for me to adjust the whites pa for this one since I just want very minimal edits for this whole photo. Now, for the blacks, this is on plus 45. The reason why medyo mataas yung blacks ko for this one is pag 0 siya, feeling ko masyadong dark yung pagka-black ng mga elements sa photo. Compared to if I increase it higher. Ayan. So, medyo nagiging bright yung black. For the curve naman, this is like my common way of doing my curves for most of my edits. So, as you can see, yung sa may highest part ng curve or ng graph, dito sa taas, like it's somehow nasa baba. Binaba ko siya ng onte para yung whites medyo mag-fade. And this one naman, hindi ko siya masyado pinul kasi if I pull this down, nagda-dark again yung blacks nyo. And ito naman sa may middle part, the more you pull this one down, medyo may pagka low on whites and highlights siya. And parang medyo nababawasan din yung contrast. This is also a nice edit though. You can also try this if ito yung type nyo din. But for me, I'm more into the medyo bright pa rin kahit na neutral yung edit nyo at saka medyo minimal. That's it for our curves and for our light adjustments for this photo. Now, let's go to the color part. So, for color, I only adjusted the temp, which is the temperature for this, and yung tint. Now, for temperature, nag-add lang ako ng +4 because if you're gonna like increase this one, the more nagiging yellowish yung photo nyo, and we don't want that. We just want like yung saktong warmth on your photo. So, that's why +4 is like the right amount or the right value for me. Now, for tint naman, I just added pinkish tint to it, but not so much. Kaya naka +1 lang. But if you're gonna pull this one down, you're gonna add like a greenish tint to your photo. Now, for vibrance, I just dropped it to -17 because if we're gonna increase that one, obviously your photo will become more vibrant. And for saturation, it's on -18. If you're gonna, again, pull it up, you're gonna saturate the colors of the photo. And since I want this photo to be very neutral, kaya ako siya drawn up to -18. That is the only thing I adjusted for color. Now, let's go to effects. For effects, I also love to add clarity to my photos, which means I wanna make sure that the details are very obvious. But for this edit, I just added +10 clarity for this one. And of course, you guys know that I love grain so much ever since. That's why dito sa grain na to, I added 30 grain and then 25 for the size and 50 for the roughness. For split toning, this one, sometimes I do this talaga if I wanna get that certain color to my photos. So, since medyo gusto ko talaga yung may pagka-brownish na tone to my photos, specifically highlights, you can also put colors to that. So, you can do that here. Now, for highlights for these photos, in terms of split toning, the hue is 37 degrees and the saturation is 3. Now, for the shadows, the hue is 42 degrees and then for the saturation, it's 16. Since I want my photo to be really crispy and really detailed, I also increased the sharpening of my photos. Most of the time, it would be around 30 to 40%. So, sobrang sharp niya. Because I feel like the quality of my phone doesn't really give that sharpness to my photos that I want. Compared to if I borrow Jeff's phone because he's using the iPhone XR, which has like better image quality. So if I'm using his phone to take my photos, usually I just lower the sharpening because the photo is already sharp. Now I'm gonna show you some other samples that I did using the same preset or the same edit, except that I did some adjustments on this photo. So here they are. And what I do is, to make my life simpler, I'm just gonna click this button here on top of Lightroom Up. You'll see these 3 dots. So just click that one and then click the copy settings. Or if you want, you can also save this and create your own preset. So simply create preset and then type in the preset name and then you're all set. So guys, basically that is how I just edit my photos. It's very simple, very easy, and very quick. And hopefully you guys followed me through the whole tutorial earlier, and hopefully you can also do it on your photos. And please do tag me if you ever try this preset or this edit. I want to see how you guys do it. Now, before I end this video, I'm also doing a preset giveaway. So I'm giving away again my basic preset pack. So that is basically the base of this whole tutorial. So I'm gonna give the whole pack to 10 lucky viewers there. So simply comment your Instagram handles down below, and also make sure you're following me on Instagram, and also make sure that you've subscribed to my channel. So there, that is for today's vlog. I hope you enjoyed watching this, and I hope you learned something from me today. And if you have any other questions that I haven't answered yet and medyo malabo, then please do drop your comments down below and I will talk to you guys down below. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!